Hello, and thank you for joining us for the City of Midland's annual Beautification Awards. The following program is brought to you by the Beautification Advisory Committee, the MCTV Network, and the Midland Parks and Recreation. I'm Maureen Donker, Mayor for the City of Midland. The Beautification Awards program started back in 1971, almost 50 years ago. The work that individuals do to beautify their yard truly impacts the city. Now, many of them tell us about the personal benefits that they get from working in their yards. It gets them outside to enjoy Mother Nature, it encourages their creativity, and it promotes well-being. But what they don't realize is how it truly helps us build our community. We want to be a city of choice, and what we mean when we say that is we want to be a place where people want to live and businesses want to come. That isn't something that cities can do with just one thing. We have to do lots of different things to make that happen, and beautification is one of those things. Let me give you some data. In 2010, the Knight Foundation, working with Gallup, released a report called The Soul of the Community: Why People Love Where They Live and Why Does It Matter? They surveyed 43,000 people in 26 communities across the country. They identified 10 attributes that draw people to a community and help keep them there. Consistently, the top 3 attributes were offering of services, welcoming community, and aesthetic, an area's physical beauty. Now, many cities across the country have a lot of natural beauty. Bozeman, Montana, and Denver, Colorado are located near beautiful mountains. The greater Traverse City area, is near our own beautiful Lake Michigan. Midland is a wonderful community, but because of our location, we need to create much of our own beauty. That is why the marigolds on Eastman Avenue are so important, and the lovely flowers and streetscape downtown and the beautiful pots on Saginaw Road are so important. And that is why this award is important, because it gives us the opportunity to say thank you to the individuals who are beautifying their neighborhoods by creating unique and beautiful yards. 2020 has been an interesting year. Typically, when we give out this award, we have a lovely gathering at City Hall. We get to meet the homeowners, hear their stories, and say thank you in person. Though we're not able to do that this year, we want all of our 2020 award winners to know how truly grateful we are for all that they are doing to help make Midland a beautiful place to live. They have our sincere thanks. I also want to thank the great committee that leads this effort for the city. The members of the 2020 Beautification Advisory Committee are Rhonda Chapman, Abby Clairhout, Mary Dvorsky, Sue Johns, Joe Kaju, Nellie Munhenk, Rachel Peters, Rudy Phillips, and Erica Pena. They do a fabulous job. Now I'm going to turn this over to Marcy Post. Marcy is the head of our Parks and Recreation Department, and she'll be announcing our 2020 Beautification Award winners.
And now on to our beautification winners, all who will be celebrated in the Landscaping Accomplishments category. At 904 Balfour, owned by Kimberly Hagle and Joe Rugenstein. This home on the corner makes great use of wraparound flower beds. Beautiful, healthy, white hydrangea shrubs pop against the brick and stone exterior. Well-groomed perennials are planted in mounds amongst the large river rock bedding. This natural use of green and dark red plantings make for a striking statement against the modern backdrop of the home. 2817 Chippewa Lane, owned by Greg Smith and Kay Monica. This eye-catching property is settled along the riverbank, overflowing with lush plantings of large shrubs, annual flowers, prolific perennials, and mature trees. One can tell that great attention to detail and a labor of love tends regularly to this bountiful landscape. Garden ornaments dot playfully throughout the flower beds, and peekaboo views of the river complete this beautiful garden. 3217 City Forest Estates, owned by Scott and Sara Baldauf. This property is a well-composed mixture of grass, foliage, and stone. One could wonder if the boulders were collected on site. The landscaping serves to temper the imposing size of the structure while enhancing its features. Little pops of color reference the copper roof accent, a fine example of suburban yet natural landscaping. 3910 Concord Street, owned by Ed and Indira Osevrek. The Osevrek's front lawn garden is perfectly edged in as a focal point to their house. They have annual and wild flowers scattered throughout. You truly need to walk up and stop and smell the flowers. They also grow vegetables and have a good bounty at the end of the summer. You know a gardener's house when you see one. This is a great place to walk and drive by. 4507 Cruz Drive, owned by Michael and Susan Dallessandro. The Dallessandros have a well-kept white colonial home with a lovely front porch dotted with many large red flowering hanging baskets, well-landscaped flower pots with yellow daylilies and red complementary flowers surround the front of the home. The beautiful red maple in the front stands out from the stately home. 4401 Gladding Court, owned by Roger and Elizabeth Blumenshine. Perennial plantings in varying heights against the tan facade of the home draw your eye in from the street. Pots of pink and red against bright greens invite you to walk up the curved sidewalk to an inviting bench with a brightly colored container garden on the porch. Evergreen plantings help the garden look full and cared for even as the color fades on the other plants. 2608 Greenwich Circle, owned by Alan and Becky Murray. The landscaping of 2608 Greenwich Circle evokes the feeling of a forest glen and is a delightful find at the end of a cookie-cutter row of houses. The rows of vegetation lead your eye up the driveway and make you wonder what delightful spaces you will find beyond. 33 Leucington Court, owned by Doris Feagley. This well-maintained mid-century modern home with large open lawn at the end of the court is a true delight. The house is surrounded with large hostas, Japanese grasses mixed with red geraniums, and a small Japanese maple tree. Well-trimmed shrubs and pachysandra ground cover completes the yard complementing this all-numby-dow home. 1721 McGregor Street, owned by Matthew and Rachael Christianson. This home is a beautiful example of the old-school charm from one of Midland's classic neighborhoods close to downtown. The weeping redbud tree along with hostas and hydrangeas give the property and the neighborhood a classic pop of color. 1721 McGregor displays the pride and love our town has always been proud of. Beautifully maintained, it was an easy choice for the Beautification Award. And finally, 2012 West Nelson, owned by Tom and Mary Fredelt. This traditional brick ranch features fieldstone borders with plantings of wildflowers, annuals, perennials, and Easter lilies. These beautiful gardens emit color and a fragrance that the neighbors and wildlife all enjoy. You can tell these proud homeowners have taken time in planning and executing their landscape design. We want to take a moment to thank you for watching the virtual version of the Appreciation of Beautification Awards. For more information on beautification, please contact Marcy Post in Parks and Recreation. Thank you.